Why would fans cry about Edge winning the Royal Rumble? Edge! A Hall of Famer! One of the better talents and bigger stars than WWE had in the past 20 years. Edge winning the Royal Rumble is apparently a problem for some fans. If you are like me and think that that's ridiculous and silly and beyond the borderline of stupid, smash that subscribe button and follow the show on Twitter. Good Christ almighty. I understand. No matter what you do in wrestling, somebody's always going to have something to gripe about, piss and moan about, bitch and complain about. I do it, you do it, we all do it. Like, fair enough. We got different tastes, we got different flavors, we got different opinions. But I'm really struggling to understand this one. And I really need some help with this. For a couple of different aspects. Number one, the same people now that are crying about Edge winning the Royal Rumble are the same people that likely, and in many cases were, crying when the dude had to retire 9+ damn years ago. Yet all the while, we're crying when he came back at the 2020 Royal Rumble. So this dude that you went the better part of a decade without seeing, this guy who can still go in the ring, who is a legit character, he can actually tell stories, he can actually cut promos, he's just an all-around great hand, great talent, and at a time that you need stars, yes, I understand he's longer in the tooth, but you didn't have him for most of the past decade. You would think you would want to make up for lost time as much as possible, wouldn't ya? Wouldn't ya? I mean, this is not a situation where this guy has been pounded down our throats for years and years and years. You barely saw him for almost a decade. So you were moved to tears when he had to retire. You were moved to tears when he came back. But now you've taken to internet bitching a year later because he won the Royal Rumble. The hell sense does that make? And then I've seen some people complaining about, well, it's not just that he won the Rumble, it's that he won it coming from the number one spot. It doesn't matter if he won it at 1, 15, or 30. You'd have been bitching about it all the same. That makes no fucking sense at all, and you know it doesn't. If he comes in late, then you'd be like, oh, they just gave it to the part-timer, the veteran, and he didn't have to do shit, so that's stupid. Or if he comes in the middle, then like, well, he should have went longer. He should have had to tell his story and earn it. But this time he goes 58 plus minutes, starts off number one, makes it the duration. But. Well, that's stupid. He didn't need that. Shut up! It makes no goddamn sense. Like, that's the worst thing of all. Like, a lot of times when we complain about things pertaining to professional wrestling and we bitch and moan and piss about it, we can at least provide valid criticisms of alternatives and options of what we would have rather done. That's fair. So you can't be pigeonholed by saying, oh, you would have complained no matter what. No, clearly, I've just told you what I would rather seen or done. Da-da-da-da-da. But in this case, it's like, they were damned if they do and damned if they don't. Make up your fucking mind. And then we get to this whole notion of Edge is a part-timer and they value all these part-timers and they need to focus on the generation to come and the future stars. Look, I've been doing this crap for a decade. And you know I've been hammering away, hammer at WWE for a decade. Seeming in a perpetual cycle of always talking about how they need to focus on the next generation. How they need to think about creating that next wave of new stars that could be the foundation of that company for years to come. There are plenty of videos on this channel that you can check out. So you should subscribe and go and check them out yourself. But let's be clear here. Edge isn't just a Brock Lesnar type or a Goldberg type where he's coming in and working 1 or 2 matches a year. He came back last year at the Royal Rumble with the intention of being a full-time talent. Unfortunately, he got hurt, yes, but now he is back in the fold, and it appears and seems to be at least that he's going to be a regularly appearing talent. What the hell is wrong with this? He's not the same old standard once or twice a year part-timer guy. I get the gripe, maybe if it was Lesnar, you'd be like, you don't need to throw it on him, and why would you? Edge. See, if it was Goldberg, you'd be like, oh, I sure as hell don't want, yeah, like, I get that. But Edge, it makes no damn sense. He's not just some regular part-timer. And he's not a part-timer at all, frankly. So cut that shit out. And then what really kills me is the whole notion talking about the younger talent. And I would have rather have seen this person or that person win it. Who? Daniel Bryan? Let's be realistic. I talked about in the lead up to the Rumble that I could have supported it because there was a story to tell. But it's not like he was a fucking house of fire where it should have went out that way. No. And frankly, if I'm choosing between Edge, who has a history of injuries, and it could be one injury from career over, or Daniel Bryan, who could be one injury away from career over, which guy am I choosing for the bigger spot? Ding dong, dumb dicks, it's Edge every fucking time. And if you would rather choose Daniel Bryan, you're insane and clowned by your own fucking markdom and stupidity. What are you going to do? Who else are you going to throw in there? Nakamura? Isn't he north of 40? Cesaro? Isn't he 40? Like, these are all guys that are my age and older that you're advocating for. Yet I imagine if a guy like AJ Styles would have won it, there wouldn't have been much of a problem. Oh, because he's full-time, but he's still fucking 43, something like that. I know Edge is 47. But if the intention is that he's a full-timer and he's around relatively full-time, working matches on Raw sometimes, or SmackDown, or whatever, and appearing in several pay-per-views a year, that's pretty damn full-time at this point. So get the fuck over it. And this whole notion that every time you have the Royal Rumble, it's got to be this match that crowns somebody that's part of the new wave and the next generation and the next big star, is complete bullshit. If anything, the way they did that was perfectly balanced, because for the Women's Royal Rumble, you had Bianca Belair, you have a new face, a fresh star, something new. And then you've got Edge representing a different type and a different generation. So you've got some balance there. They literally don't have enough talent, and certainly not enough worthy talent, where they can always put a new person in this spot every single damn year. And to those that are griping about them, well, they just went to the old guys and the guys, the has-beens. Shit. If Edge is anything close to full-time, he is infinitely better than pretty much anybody else you would have put in that spot. Don't be stupid. You know better than that. No, seriously. If you said otherwise, what in the bluest of blue fucks are you talking about? These people that you're pointing to, they would have rather seen the Rumble, either A, didn't have the character momentum, B, aren't worthy of that spot, or C, aren't that much damn younger than Edge. They're in my age category. Hey, you know what? Next year, how about I do a bunch of flips and kicks in the ring, get some momentum, so that way I can win the Royal Rumble. You see how stupid that sounds? Like, what the hell? And think about it like this. You shouldn't just put somebody in that spot to prop them up when they really don't have the ability to bring the goods. You can blame Vince and Hunter and Stephanie and the leadership of WWE. You can blame the creative and all of that. And they all play a role here. But the talent, or the lack of talent from the superstars, is a significant factor too. When you look at a lot of these fools, even if they were given great material to work with, they would still face plant. So I can't imagine. Like, you look at it, what, are you going to have Seth Rollins win the Rumble? Okay. That's not moving the needle. Braun Strowman's not moving the needle. Randy Orton? He's my age. Been down that path. He's a 2-time Rumble winner. Like, think about this. Imagine what wrestling Twitter would have done back in 2001 is when Stone Cold Steve Austin won his 3rd Rumble and it wasn't Kane that won it. Like, people would have rioted. People would have set the fucking internet aflame. Kane would have been the #1 trending topic. Fuck, Stone Cold would have been the #2 trending topic. Like, that's the type of silly, stupid season that we're getting to here. And then when you look at this from a WrestleMania perspective, with Edge, you either could throw him into a story with Drew McIntyre that can work, that could potentially help elevate and get more out of Drew, or further prove why Drew is not that #1 type of guy. He is #2. Or you could put him up against the fucking tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and really get people foaming at the mouth for a WrestleMania main event. Like, seriously. What you're also looking at is the guys that you've invested in big time, in Drew and Roman, and this company certainly has invested in them big time recently and in the past couple of years. Like, you want to get a maximum return out of that investment, and part of getting that maximum return out of investment is putting them in the best possible situations and spots that you can. And having them wrestle somebody like a Shinsuke at WrestleMania or a Daniel Bryan, I'm sorry, ain't getting that damn job done. Like, Edge is a good balance here. Name from the past, legit star, guy that has respect among several different generations, but can actually still go, and is still around somewhat consistently, assuming he's healthy. Like, it's the perfect balance here. He was the best option, he was the only real viable option. Give me Edge versus Roman Reigns as the main event of WrestleMania, or hell, even give me Edge versus Drew, I don't even really care, over any other option that would have been from the roster. You had so many jabronis and ham and eggers, and even a couple of other guys that you would have considered. What, you're going to put it on Orton a third time? That makes no goddamn sense. Seth Rollins? No, I'm good. I don't need that. Braun? Fuck him. Don't need that. Like, Edge was the option. It was the best option. It's the best story. He's the best talent that you have in that spot, and he can get the most out of either one of those guys you send him at. Now, personally, I think you throw him over on SmackDown and you send him at Roman Reigns. That's what you do. That's what you do. But either way, he was the best option. So what in the hell are you complaining about? What are you crying about? It's like some of y'all, and this coming from me means a lot, but it's true. Like, what the fuck is wrong with some of you? It is not a waste of a Royal Rumble winner. I guarantee a lot of those idiots that say that, I'm sure there are certain individuals that are on YouTube here that talk about this crap, that just come up with really dumb, stupid ideas, and are going to tell you that Edge was dumb and it was a dumb decision, it should have been somebody else, and it was a waste of time, and all these other things that I've just basically invalidated in the previous 12 minutes of this fucking video. Same people a decade ago crying because Edge couldn't wrestle anymore. Now he's got a chance to main event WrestleMania, and you want to cry about that? There is no pleasing you. And as much as we point to a WWE or an AEW or whoever the hell, and talk about how much wrestling sucks now and how much it's missing, shit, sometimes you wonder why. Because they're trying to appeal to a fan base that doesn't know what the hell they want, like a bunch of teenage girls. You think they want one thing, and then they come back and find out they want the exact opposite. It's pretty hard to build a foundation of what you're going to do when you can never know from one moment to the next what the hell people actually want. There's so many things to talk about and criticize when it comes to professional wrestling. Edge winning the Royal Rumble? Sure as hell shouldn't be one of them.